Welcome to the deep dive. We are jumping straight into an analysis of Daniel chapter 3 today.
Right.
And our mission, really, is to look at the sources you provided and pull out that core idea about loyalty, fidelity, versus compromise, especially when you're up against absolute power.
Right. That concept of Zongsin, that unwavering commitment, which the text explores.
Exactly.
And, to really get it, we should probably start with the blueprint. The analysis shows Daniel 3 isn't just like a straight narrative.
Okay.
It's set up chiastically, A, B, C, C, B, A, that kind of mirrored structure.
Ah, the mirrored structure, right. So the most important bit is in the middle.
Precisely. Smack dab in the center.
Yeah.
Verses 16 through 18. That's the core message, not necessarily the big spectacle parts.
Okay, interesting. So let's unpack those outer layers first then, the A and B. We have King Nebuchadnezzar, this massive golden statue, 60 cubits, that's huge.
It's intentionally excessive.
And everyone has to worship it. The source material really lingers on this, doesn't it? The forced attendance, the sheer scale. Why?
Well, it's a literary technique, right? Emphasis through repetition. You get this long list of every official imaginable, governors, judges, you name it. And then crucially, the text keeps repeating the specific musical instruments. The horn, flute, zither, harp.
Yeah, I noticed that over and over.
Exactly. It creates this mandatory soundscape. It drives home that this wasn't about genuine belief. This was state-sponsored forced compliance. Maximum pressure.
So that sets the stage perfectly for the real test, the central core, C.
Right. And the king's arrogance is just off the charts. He basically throws down the gauntlet to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
That line, what God can save you from my hand, he's really setting himself up against any divine power.
Totally. He frames it as his power versus God's. And their answer, well, that's the absolute heart of it.
What do they say? First, they state their confidence. Our God is able to save us. They believe in his power to deliver them from that fiery furnace. Okay, so confidence in God's power. But here's the kicker, the bit that defines true loyalty, according to the text. They follow up immediately with, but even if he does not, the if not statement, yes. Even if he does not deliver us, know this, O king. We will not serve your gods or worship the gold image you have set up.
Wow. So it's not about the outcome. It's about the principle.
Exactly. That's the core message. True fidelity, true loyalty is unconditional. It's submission to God's will, whatever that might be, not just when you expect a rescue. That resolve is the miracle, in a sense.
That shifts everything. The focus moves from the potential rescue to their actual decision.
Precisely. And then the structure reverses, right? We move to C, B, A, the test happens. Furnace heated 7 times hotter.
Extreme measures.
Extreme.
Yeah.
But then, divine intervention, Nebuchadnezzar looks in and sees, well, not 3 guys bound and burning, but 4.
4, unbound, walking around, unharmed. And the 4th, he says, looks like a son of God or maybe an angel. Meanwhile, the heat is so intense it kills the guards who threw them in.
Incredible contrast. And the 3 friends, they walk out, not a hair singed, clothes fine, and the text makes a point of this, no scent of fire on them. Wow. So the fire had absolutely no power over them.
None. Which leads directly to the king's reaction in the final section, he has to completely reverse course.
He praises their God, right? The very God he just challenged.
It's the direct answer to his earlier boast. He's forced to acknowledge a power greater than his own.
So bringing this to us, the listener, the sources suggest the challenge isn't gone, just maybe different.
Yeah, the idols look different today, perhaps. Maybe not giant golden statues, but things like money, status, possessions, maybe even compromising integrity at work.
Our phones, our kids, things we might prioritize over everything else. Could be. The question the text leaves us with is, are we willing to show that same kind of unconditional fidelity, that Zongsin, when facing our own, maybe smaller everyday compromises, especially when, rescue isn't guaranteed. It's a challenging thought. There's this tension, isn't there? God is sovereign. He allows the fire. He sends the rescue. But the human part is that resolve. So if the real miracle isn't just the walking out of the fire, but the willingness to say, if not, what decision about your own loyalty, your own fidelity are you facing right now, regardless of the outcome?